Accidentally got access to company payroll bank account. I worked as an accountant, but I had nothing to do with payroll. One day I realized I could see the payment files from the payroll account, so I did what any curious human would do. I exported the data and figured out what everyone's salaries were. I used this information to negotiate a $15K pay rise plus 10% annual bonus. I never would have aimed so high and negotiated this without this secret knowledge. It turned out if you worked for the company and had a penis, you got paid well above anyone rocking a vagina. Because it was a smaller employer, less than 20 staff at the time, there were different roles. But if you compared degrees and time employed and technicality of the roles, then there was clearly some favoritism toward males. This isn't even taking into account company cars were given to only men, who, apart from a few, never needed a car for company purposes. It was just another benefit. Once I got my pay rise, my commitment to overtime vanished like a fart in the wind. My whole attitude shifted. If employees, especially female employees, could have access to company payroll, there would be a huge shift in employer attitudes as we realize we are being taken for a ride. This is why it's so important to talk about pay with your coworkers. LMFAO. When I was in tech writing, my communist dude friend asked what I was making, since he wanted to know what the salary was before he went permanent. After the meeting, he came back to me and said, "Samwise Vimes, you need to talk to them. They offered me 8K more off the bat." Tech was comically dumb about gender. There's a spreadsheet being put together by female software developers in the UK. They state their city, as there are some regional differences, years of experience and area they work in, front end, back end, mobile, etc. Shout out to the lady on the top line getting an offensive £23,000 with 3 years experience. She can now see juniors getting 25 to 30. Others can see that by 4 years, 6 years. The kinds of numbers you could be looking at. By exposing the ballpark figures, you at least know where to throw the ball. If you come from the world of retail, or nursing, or school roles, or your parents' own experience of low-paid work, you don't even know these kinds of numbers are possible. 40K, 50K, 70K. It doesn't exist in our vocabulary. So people ask for small figures and get lowball. I did it. My new employer offered me the correct amount, which was much higher than my expected number, showing their honesty. And yes, if coworkers also reveal their numbers, you can then realize that while you may be grateful with X amount, they rely on you feeling grateful and not wanting to rock the boat everyone else is on 50% more. You know what Sweden does? They make everyone's income public. You can literally buy a book with everyone's income from the past year. I got that book to understand my salary in the context of everyone's. Feels kind of crazy, but ultimately, it's good to have transparency. I found out I got paid 25K less than men doing far less than me, and I raised it as an issue and was interrogated for so long on how I knew this. Their rationale was how long they were here and that they plateaued in their earnings, meaning they won't make more, but I, top employee in my area, have room for earnings growth. I did get a 15% raise. They moved me to a new role with better earning opportunity. How motivated do you think I am at work now? You sued them for back pay, right? The Equal Pay Act of 1963 prohibits paying women less for the same role and skills. https www.eeoc.gov/statutes/equal-pay-act-1963. There may also be state laws that require employer to pay 2x or 3x back pay for a violation. You might also win punitive damages as well. It is sad that you found this blatant bias against women that is so often denied. We hear about it statistically, but each individual employer will tell you. But not here. I work in IT, and when I worked for a Mormon who owned an insurance brokerage firm, I quit a couple weeks after I found his database Excel workbook, which had his inventory or his 4000 SQ featuring garage. Roughly 30 supersport bikes, from Hayabusa to top-end BMW bikes, and about 60 sports car. From Mustang GT 500s to Aston Martins. He owned 6 Aston Martins. Throw in a dozen Ferraris. Same with Lamborghini and a few others I never heard of. The highest salary they could pay me to be their all-in-one IT guy. Cisco networking, Novell domain, server admin, VBA developer, tech support, website creator for clients, was $32,500 per year. I worked there because I was desperate. I quit because I was nauseated. But shortly after I quit, he sold the company and thus laid off the staff. This was right before the 2008 recession. I'm a lawyer and do a lot of M&A transactions, and part of the disclosure process for target companies is a report of all the wages of every employee. I've seen hundreds of these reports. 99% of the time the men make substantially more than women across the board in every role. This is very real in many companies. I just left a family company that I had been with for 20 years over this scenario. I did the payroll and knew that as the female in the company I was underpaid. I negotiated hard and told them I would leave and take everything I knew with me. The founder had a long litigious past, and I was the only one left that knew all the details. The current owner refused to negotiate no matter how much data I had to prove my point, so I left and took all my knowledge with me. I was replaced with a man. There is still the old school attitude that men should be paid more. Those companies deserve to lose their talent and suffer greatly for it. When you get a new job, you could always accidentally send that spreadsheet to all the printers, IJS. I work for a state university. My pay, like everyone else's, is public. You better believe that keeps things from getting too wonky. Where I work, it's down to a single woman in a 7-person office. We used to have 3 to 4. The remaining lady has flat out told the boss that if he tries to dump more things on her, she's leaving. She's held that for a lot of years, and frankly I don't blame her. The women that left all got extra things dumped on them until they left just to get away from the BS. I've been an accountant for a long time. Let me tell you some creative accounting in payroll. Joe starts working in the warehouse at $15 per hour. Some months later he has a kid, goes to the boss, and suddenly he's making $20 per hour. Then he, magically, takes on a sales position at $35 per hour with a company truck and a company-paid gas card. Think about how much a truck payment would be, plus insurance, plus gas. Getting that for free, it's a very nice perk for the employee and a write-off for the company. But wait, there's more. Joe is making $35 per hour plus the $20 per hour and is listed as an employee working full-time in both positions. Bonus checks are written off as company expense and handed out in cash envelopes at the company Christmas party. Then there's Susie in the parts department. She's been there 20 years and is making $18.50 per hour period. Rocking a vagina. Thank you, Reddit. It's like poetry, but not poetry. Out of curiosity, how does your pay compare to that of the menfolk now? Were you able to fully level things out for you? This sort of thing really highlights how very real the gender pay gap is, even when the work is the same. Edit. I forgot to say, congrats for securing a significant raise and bonus too. You have to be careful about this because while it is okay to talk about your own pay, it's definitely not okay to export payment data like this and figure out everyone's salary. Morally okay, sure, but easily a fireable offense if anyone found out. You also wouldn't be able to use this information to help anyone else out without potentially risking yourself as well. The place I interned at let me see what they pay everyone and even see the company budget LMAO. They asked me to extend my internship and I asked for double what they gave me, which was still cheaper than hiring an experienced accountant, and they just refused. I've got to say, at least where I live, it's the male employees getting taken for a ride when it comes to overall salary, hourly pay. Talking from experience of having seen 200 plus payroll systems at least 15 years ago. However, we can all benefit more by all being more open and sharing our earnings with each other, helping us to know what a fair wage to aim for is. Rocking a vagina. Love it. T-shirt time.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.